Hi everyone and welcome to Infinox Markets Insights with me, Richard Perry, analysing markets for Infinox on Wednesday the 21st of July. Now there was a degree of support that we saw for risk appetite yesterday after days of selling pressure. A bit of a rebound that was seen across equity markets. We saw treasury yields rebounding as well. But the question is this a trend change or is it something that is just going to fizzle out once more? Dead cat pounce territory. Now the questions I think we're going to be seeing through the European equity markets, certainly they're back into resistance levels of old breakdowns and they will be, I think, a key measure of that. We're continuing to see the dollar strengthening. Now that tends to come with continued risk aversion, so that is the concern there. Big key support levels being broken across some of these major forex pairs such as cable, and I'm going to be focusing on that today. Now we've got the ECB meeting tomorrow. ECB is expected to reconfirm its it's significantly dovish position, and just how dovish is the ECB going to be? Is it going to continue with the front loading of asset purchases under the PEP program? I think is probably one of the aspects that they're going to be discussing, and how that impacts across risk appetite though will be interesting, because a really dovish ECB could potentially find a bit of support for risk appetite, but certainly at the moment the dollar is in the ascendancy. So at the end of the video, we've got the Infinox support and resistance table for your levels. Now, in terms of the charts we're looking out for today, COVID variant of the Delta variant is certainly a big key factor there across what is driving the correction in risk appetite, and certainly cable to the downside is a big factor that we're seeing through the forex majors. So we're looking at the outlook there. But we're also looking at the oil price. Oil price sharply lower as OPEC Plus looks to increase supply, and also coming at the risk aversion as well. So oil outlook on the Brent Crude there. And also the DAX. Big fall on the European equity markets, and we're looking at the DAX breakdown. So how we're looking at that? Let's have a look at the charts. And onto the Infinox MT5 platform now, and just starting off very quickly with the dollar index, we can see that the consolidation that we've seen in recent weeks has decisively broken out and continues to move higher today. 93 figure on that dollar index. 93.44 was that key high that we saw back in March. That's only a 0.5% away. We could easily see that. So with cable, we talked about the big breakdown in the support on cable. The key support at 36.70 that were these lows from March and April. We've seen that broken to the downside now, and you can look at that momentum, really negative, but it's at 30 on the RSI. That's where we started to see a degree of support on the rebound back in June. So there could be a technical rally that we start to see setting in for cable, although at the moment cable is down again today, not looking all that great, but that arguably oversold condition on the RSI could start to kick in. But I think we're looking at, well, I mean, on the technicals, certainly you'd say, well, the downside break of 36.70 is really not good. Resistance now, 36.70 up towards that old breakdown level of 37.30 as well. So a band of resistance there. If that then sees a rebound that fails in that resistance area, well, that's selling opportunity moment, and we could see further downside. Now, how far could you go? Well, I mean, if you're taking that as a big breakdown of a top pattern, you're looking at the sort of 31, 32 figure area. Probably not going to get that far, in my opinion, but it's certainly you could see that 34, 33 area potentially. And moving on to the oil price, well, we saw the big breakdown that completed the top pattern. Actually, that top pattern implied around about 67, 68 bucks. We've seen that downside move now, and the market has sort of retreated back to this uptrend of this expanding uptrend channel. But it's looking a little bit hairy around that level. The support was being broken, and also the momentum is very negative, and there's not a great deal of support really until you get to the 64.50, 65.50 area. And the question would be how the market responds around this old support, this old band pivot area around 70 to 70.50 to 71 figure. If the market starts to fail around there, then you could see again another lurch lower, and then you're looking at a retesting of that support from yesterday, 67.60 at least. And finally on the DAX, well, broken uptrend. We see the momentum turning negative. We've seen the moving averages rolling over. You've seen the move underneath this sort of key, effectively mid-range band of pivot area, and that becomes the level of resistance. And what we've seen in the last couple of days is it could start to become that level of resistance. 15,275 up towards 15,350 is the band of resistance. If it fails around there, you're looking at the market turning over again, and you could, as I say, come back towards this 14,800 area, and I think that would be the risk if you did see a bull failure on this arguably dead cat bounce that we've seen yesterday. So that's the resistance. 15,275 to 15,350 is the level of resistance. If it fails around there, you're looking back probably to at least test yesterday's low, 15,040, and then possibly 14,800 area. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it informative for your trading. Join me again on Friday, where we'll be digesting the ECB and looking ahead to the flash PMI data. So I'll leave you with the Infonox support and resistance table, and I'll speak to you then. Thank you very much.